Good evening to everybody. Welcome to the today class of the family law, that is the Muslim law. And yesterday I have given the principles involved in the Sunni law as well as the Shia law in the inheritance. Then now in today class that you will see some of them in detail. Yes, read what I posted on the screen.
Categories and classes of legal heirs under the Sunni Muslim laws.
Yes.
The principle
What
it
are, who
is
are yes enough. Who are the Muslim who are the who are the legal heirs under the Sunni Muslim law, the sharers are concerned. So number one, they will categorize in the principal classes. So the following three classes of heirs may be termed as the principal classes of legal heirs. The heirs included in any of the following classes are related to the propositous by blood, except the husband and widow who are related to through the marriage. Husband is related through the marriage, and a widow is related through the marriage. That's called affinity. Yeah. Propositus means the deceased, the who died, called propositus. Spelling Propositus. See here, I highlighted. Read. Spelling read.
Propositus.
Pronounce.
Propositus.
Propositus. That's the way of pronouncing. Yes, now I will stop my video, then we'll make it out. Number one, sharers, or we can say Quranic heirs. Quranic heirs, or we can say sharers. They will come under the principal category, means first class. Sharers are those heirs who are entitled to get a prescribed share from the heritable property. The sharers and the respective shares in the property of the deceased are given in Quran. The sharers are therefore also called Quranic heirs. Sometimes we will also say Quranic sharers, or we also say Quranic heirs. As per the Quran, what would be their proportionate amount among them of the propositors? In the distribution of the property, the sharers get preference over the other class of heirs. Therefore, first of all the respective share is allotted to each sharer. The first and foremost, whatever the property would be left over there, it will be devolved among the sharers. It may be noted that sharers are those heirs whose respective shares are given in Quran, very clearly mentioned in 1 by 2, 2 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 6, or in that manner. Therefore, their shares cannot be allotted, altered by any human effort. If once the Quranic shares very clearly mentioned, in any case, it cannot be altered. Our mind is a limited mind. With a limited mind, we cannot think about the Almighty God's creation and its division. So that is the reason it is very much clearly mentioned over here. So next type of the sharers are, yesterday I told how many sharers are there in the Sunni law? Quranic heirs. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, say pass on.
3 types, sir.
Repeat.
3, sir.
Give me the spelling.
Sharers. Sharers, residuous,
I said
distant
how many
kindred.
sharers are there as per the Sunni law according to the
12.
Quranic heirs.
12, sir. 12 sharers.
Yes, I could not hear properly 12. That's why I said spelling. When I say spelling, you should say TWELVE. 12 means 10 plus 2. That is the way of it. I appreciate. Good. And regarding the Sunni law is concerned, regarding the Shia law is concerned,
9, sir.
I think it is a 7 or 9, but anyway, that we will see it. Okay. Now, the second category of it is say residuaries. In other words, we can say agnatic heirs. The first one is sharers. In other words, we can say Quranic hairs. The second one is residuaries, or we can say agnatic hairs. Now let us see who are the residuaries. Residuaries are those hairs who inherit only the residue of the property after allotment of respective shares to the sharers. In case the property is exhausted in distribution of the Quranic hairs, then what will happen to the residuaries? Answer.
The property is not allotted, sir.
Nothing.
Residuaries.
They don't get anything. Zero. No question of inheritance. The property is distributed among the sharers. The entire property is exhausted. So the residuaries will not get anything. Yes, now obviously the residuaries have no specific share of their own. No, there is no specific share like Quranic hairs. After giving the property to the sharers, means distributing the property to the sharers in their fixed shares, if there remains some property, if any property is left over there, that remaining property called residue is available to the residuaries. So, if anything is left over there after the division of the property to the Quranic heirs, then that property will go to the residuaries. If nothing would be left over there, nothing they are going to get it. Is it clear?
Sir.
Yes. I don't know whether we are BSc, MPC, BSc, sir, neither we are BSc, sir, we are BA, sir, or BCom, sir. Yes, what about you?
BSc, sir. BSc.
BSc.
MB.
In test tube, when you are making the test, what is left over bottom? What is left over? What will you float on the upper side?
Sir, repeat. Sir, repeat once more, sir.
See, always the residue comes down, and precipitation comes floats upper part. It floats. So residue means it will be down. It will be in the test tube down. We can say residue. If anything left over there, we can say residue. From there it has come. So the residue may differ from the case to case. If there are no sharers, then entire property goes to the
Residuaries.
residuaries. The whole is inherited by the residuaries. Residuary hairs are also termed as agnatic hairs because they are inherited through the male relation. Agnatic means connected to the father side. Means grandfather, father, son, son's son. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Appreciate. So third type of the class of the hairs and the Sunni law is distant kindred or uterine hairs. The second one is residuary hairs, that is the agnatic hairs. And third one is the distant kindred or uterine hairs. Uterus means mother's side. From the uterus only the fetus will be formed over there in the uterus. So all those persons who are related to propositus through the blood but could not be included as hairs in the class of sharers or of residuaries, they are called distant kindred, means mother side. They are distant kindred. If a propositus has neither the sharers, means the propositus here means the died person, neither he is having the sharers nor residuaries, the property are inherited by the distant kindred. When Quranic hairs are not there, agnatic hairs are not there, then it comes to the
Distant kindred.
uterine hairs are distant kindred. So distant kindreds cannot inherit in presence of any sharers or residuaries. The hairs included in this class are also termed as uterine hairs. Thus, the distant kindred can also be known as uterine hairs. Okay, that is the three types of it. Now let us see what is the subsidiary classes. Generally, we know the three in the Sunni law. Number one, Quranic heirs. Number two, agnatic heirs. Number three, uterine heirs. In other words, sharers, residuaries, distant kindred.
Distant kindred.
Yes. Let us see what is the subsidiary classes. Besides the above mentioned three classes of the heirs, there are four more categories of legal heirs. The heirs included in any of the following classes are called subsidiary heirs and inherit only in exceptional cases. When all three are exhausted over there, if at all, if anything would be left over there, that goes to the subsidiary classes, that is only in Sunni law. Number one, successor by the contract. If there is any contract between the two parties should be there. If he receives some in the form of succession, any property, he will have a contract with somebody else. Yes, whatever I receive in inheritance will goes to you. Successor by contract, number one. Number two, acknowledge kinsmanship. He acknowledges that he is very my close relative or kinship. There is some relationship would be there. So this also comes under subsidiary. Of course, these are all exception cases. And the three, universal legatee. Here, universal legatee means if nothing would be there, then one person will be named as a universal legatee, and it is he who can take care of it, all the shares. Now, the fourth, state through the process of escheat. If no sharers, no residuaries, no distant kindred, then no subsidiary relationship also there, then property goes to in the form of escheat to the estate. So now let us see the scheme of distribution is concerned. In the distribution property among the legal heirs of the Sunni propositors, the following scheme is followed. First of all, it is ascertained as to who are the sharers, Quranic heirs of the deceased. Here deceased means propositors. After ascertaining the sharers, the respective shares which are already fixed for them is allotted to each of them. If the whole property exhausts after the distribution of the sharers among each of them, the process of distribution does not proceed further. Can you tell me what it means? Explain. What did you understand? Quick. Anyone? Unmute and give me the answer.
Their respective shares, mother, wife, daughter, son, their respective shares which are fixed to them. They are allotted to them, sharers.
If the total property is exhausted in allotting the Quranic heirs, if nothing will be left over there, there is no question of going any property to the
Residuaries.
residuaries, or we can say agnatic heirs. Yes, but if there still remains some property, then the second step is to distribute the remaining property, that is the residue, among the residuaries who constitute class 2 of the legal heirs. Who is class 1 legal heirs?
Wife, daughter,
I said,
father,
who are they? I did not say. Who are they means you have to count them. I said, who are the class 1 sharers? Answer is very much simple. Quranic heirs are the first class sharers. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Quranic heirs.
Quranic heirs are the first class. Then the second class is residuaries
Residuaries.
or
Agnatic.
agnatic
Agnatic
heirs.
heirs.
Yes. However, where a propositus has no sharers at all, no 12 members are at all, the whole property is inherited directly by the residuaries. If the propositus has neither any sharer nor any residuary, then the third instance, the property is distributed among the distant kindred who are said to be the class 3 heirs. Who are said to be the class 3 heirs. So it is to be noted that a distant kindred cannot inherit in presence of any heirs belonging to the class of heir sharers or residuaries. If sharers are there, residuaries are there, if the property is totally exhausted after reaching to the residuaries, nothing is left over there. At that instance, distant kindred will be eliminated, or they are not going to get any share. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Good, I appreciate. Where a propositus has no heirs belonging to any of the three principal classes, although such cases are very much rare. That means if the propositus doesn't have the Quranic heirs, if the propositus doesn't have the agnetic heirs, if the propositus does not have the uterine heirs, then where the property goes?
Government.
Not at all. I told you, subsidiaries.
Successive subsidiary.
Subsidiary heirs.
Subsidiaries. If the subsidiaries are not there, then it will go to the government. Means through the process of exchange. So here, property devolves directly upon the successive subsidiaries heirs one by one in the order of priority which I stated above. In the other words, if a propositus has no sharers, no residuaries, no distant kindred, and his heir, his property is inherited by the successor by contract or successor by acknowledgement, and if any one of these absence by an acknowledgement kinship, if there be any and in the absence too, it is inherited by the universal legatee in the fourth category. If there is no such a legatee and are will left by the deceased, then it goes to the estate. But if there is none of the among the above mentioned classes of heirs, the properties of the deceased are ultimately inherited by the
Government.
state. That is called government. So state is the ultimate heir of every propositus, and this is called estate. The process is called estate. You have to say not government, you have to say state. When you say government, it's the state government, central government. When you say state, it's the entire country consisting of how many states? Yes? India is consisting of how many states? Sir, we don't know, sir.
29.
Which one is the
29,
last
sir.
one?
Telangana,
The
sir.
last one is a Jharkhand or Telangana. I believe it is a Telangana. However, the practical allotment of the respective shares to each legal heir is not as simple as it appears from the scheme of distribution stated above. It's not so simple because always we have to make the calculation. Then if it is more than one comes, again we have to apply either the doctrine of right or doctrine of all. If it is less than that one, we have to apply again the doctrine, and we will see that it will be equal to 1. Okay, let us see that there are various rules and exceptions which make the distribution difficult. For instance, there are rules of exclusions under which one heir of the same class may be excluded by the presence of some other heirs. So there is one principle is there. A near one exclude the far away man. In certain cases, an heir may not be totally excluded, but his share may reduce in the presence of some other heirs. Yes, you will see it. Moreover, in some cases, the heir may be inherited in a double capacity. Like a father is a sharer, no doubt, but in certain cases, he inherits also a residuary. Because when your father was there, at that instance, when no children were there for the propositors, then father will get his own share In addition to that, he also get the share as a residuary. Let us see in the problems. In the following lines, attempt has been made to enumerate the heirs of each class, their respective shares, and the rules relating to the distribution of the property among them. Then we will see the class 1 heirs. Class 1 heirs are sharers or Quranic heirs, are class 1 legal heirs of a propositus. The legal heirs of this class get preference over heirs of other classes. That means when the first class man would be there, it will not go to the second class person heirs. If the first class and second class heirs are there, it will not go to the third class heirs. So when the inheritance opens, the following facts are to be ascertained. How the inheritance opens? Who are the heirs of the first class? That means who are the Quranic heirs of the propositors? And number 2, what is the respective share of such heir or heirs? It is already decided in the Quran that God revealed to the Prophet Messenger Muhammad that these are the shares to the so and so people and so person with some conditions are passed over there. Whether such a heir is excluded by or his share is reduced in the presence of any other heirs of the same class. We read it. If the wife, the proposed children are there, the wife will get how much? Is it 1/8 or 1/4?
1/8, sir.
If the no children are there, she will get 1/4, if I not be mistaken. So, in that way, either shares will be increased if there are no children, the shares will be decreased if there are children to the propositors. I say children, I did not say son. Are you following me? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. Fourth one, any other fact which may affect his inheritance. On the basis of these facts, the heritable property is distributed, first of all, among his sharers. Now let us see the sharers, the respective shares, and the conditions under which they inherit is given in a brief in the list given below. It is to be noted that relations mentioned in the list are relations of the propositors. Whatever the relations are mentioned below is the relations of the propositors, means deceased. Example, widow means widow of the propositors. Child means child of the propositors. Mother means mother of the propositors. Father means father of the propositors. So it is the relation with the propositors will count. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Relation by affinity. See, we are all say now it is the Quranic shares, first class, second class, or third class. That is one type of it. The another type of relations by affinity. Affinity means by marriage. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Now
sir.
the husband. The husband gets 1/2 if there is no child. Means if the child of son, how low soever it be, here I call how low soever it be, child of son, how low soever it would be, then no child is the one, or child of son, how low soever it may be. Number 2, the husband gets 1/4 if there is a child or child of a son, how low soever it may be. How low soever it may be means sons, 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 sons. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Are you
Yes,
following
sir.
me? Yes. No child or child sons, how low soever it may be. How much the husband will get?
1/2.
1/2. If there is a son, if there is a child or child's son and low soever may be, then he will get 1/4. So when there is a child, he will get more or he will get less?
Less.
Less. When the no child is there, he will get more. The 1 by 2
4.
is more, 1 by 4 is less. 1 by 2 is 50, 1 by 4 is 25. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. That is to say, in the absence of children, the husband share is 1 by 2, whereas in the presence of children, his share is 1 by 4. Whose share? Husband share. Because of the relation of affinity. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now widow. Widow of whom?
Propositus.
Prepositus. Appreciate. Yes, sir. You are with me. Yeah, you are following me in the right direction. That means we are on the same track. Okay. Now widow. Number one, the widow gets 1 by 4 if there is no child or child of son, how low soever. No child, 1 by 4. And the widow gets 1 by 8 if she is with a child or child of son, how low soever. So now, less amount when the child is there, more amount when the child is not there. When you compare with the husband and widow, who is getting the more share?
Husband.
Husband getting the more
Husband.
share. See, he will get 1 by 2, no child, and child is there 1 by 4. But here, the widow get 1 by 4 if there no child. If the child is there, he will get 1 by 8. Is it clear? Now, third condition is
Yes,
there.
sir.
If the proposited had left more than one widow, అంటే అర్థం ప్రపోజిటెడ్కు ఇద్దరు పెళ్ళాలు అన్నట్టు అంతేనండి.
అంతే సార్.
Yes, all the widows share equally out of 1 by 4 or 1 by 8. Suppose no child, 2 widows are there. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? 1 by 8 1 by 8 అవుతుంది. కానీ widows, 2 widows are there with child, 1 by 16 1 by 16 అవుతుంది. Is it clear? కొంచెం కింది నామినేటర్ అంటే ఏంటిదండి, డినామినేటర్ అంటే ఏంటి చెప్పండి. ఈ 1 by 8లో నామినేటర్ ఏంటిది, డినామినేటర్ ఏంటిది? Yes, which is the nominator in 1 by 8, which is the denominator? Anyone?
Sir, again.
One is numerator, down one is denominator.
1 is
the
numerator,
nominator
8 is
and 8 is the
denominator.
denominator in 1 by 8. I repeat, 1 is a nominator and 8 is a
Nominator, yes, sir. Numerator.
repeat.
Sir, 1 is numerator, sir.
Numerator, sir.
8 is denominator. Sir.
ఇప్పుడే చెప్పాను కదండి, 1 by 8లో 1 నామినేటర్ అన్నా 8 ఇన్ డినామినేటర్ అన్నా. కిందికున్నది డినామినేటర్, మీదికున్నది
Numerator, sir.
Numerator.
నామినేటర్. వేసి చూపెడుతున్నాగండి. which is nominator and which is denominator. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, చెప్పండి. ఇక్కడ 2 ఏమో నోమినేటర్ అండ్ 3 ఏమో డినామినేటర్. కనబడుతుందా అండి?
Yes, sir. Numerator, denominator.
1 by 8లో ఏది నామినేటర్?
1 is numerator, 8 is denominator.
But why such a confusion would be there? Because I made it very much clear to you. Okay, now that is the shares should be there. Relation by blood ఏ విధంగా ఉన్నది? ఫాదర్ రిలేషన్ బై బ్లడ్. సో ఫాదర్ వితౌట్ ఎ చైల్డ్ ఆర్ చైల్డ్ ఆఫ్ సన్ హౌ లో సో ఎవర్ ఈ ట్రీటెడ్ యాజ్ ఏ రెసిడ్యూరీ. చూసారా, ఇక్కడ ఫాదర్ రెసిడ్యూరీ అయిపోయారండి. ఎప్పుడు? వితౌట్ ఎ చైల్డ్ ఆర్ సన్ ఆర్ హౌ లో సో ఎవర్ ఈస్ ట్రీటెడ్ యాజ్ ఎ రెసిడ్యూరీ. దట్ మీన్స్ సీజెస్ టు బి ఖురానిక్ హెయిర్స్ అవుతారు ఇక్కడ ఫాదర్. ఎప్పుడు? if there is a without a Quranic heirs and is entitled to get the residue after allotment of share to other Quranic heirs. Suppose without a child ఉన్నట్టు అనుకోండి ఇక్కడ father he will get his share as a Quranic heir, number one. If other shares are there, they will get it according to their share. Because no child is there, father also get entitled for the residuary plus ఎందుకంటే if the property is left over there. So now how many counts the father is getting? Number one count, it is as a sharer. Number two count, he is as a residuary. So that is the same mean. Ceases to be a Quranic heir and is entitled to get the residuary after allotment of shares to other Quranic heirs. It says ceases to be the Quranic heirs. Ceases ante radu Quranic heir radu ayanaki. Only residuary ayestadi. Not true, he will enjoy it. Because it is clearly mentioned without a child, a child of sons however is treated as a residuary. Okay, residuary aitadi. Ceases to be a Quranic heirs and is entitled to get the residue after allotment of the shares to the Quranic heirs. Residue after the allotment of the shares to the Quranic heirs. That means it is a clear sense that he will ceases to be a legal heir, but he will become a. Let us see one of the problem. In problem la clear untadi. Okay, now time being will understand. He ceases to be a Quranic heir, but after getting to the other people, he will get the residuaries. But to my knowledge, it's not like that. Let us see the down so that we can know what is what. Father together with a child and a child of sons however get by 1/6. In other words, in the absence of the children, father becomes a residuary, whereas in the presence of the children, his share is 1/6. Okay, now it is clear. Ippudu cheppandi ippudu father. Now it is clear. So if the father is having a child, yes,
1/6.
he will get 1/6. In other words, in the absence of the children, the father becomes a residuary. In the absence of the children, the above point is absence of the children. That means he will not become a Quranic heir, he will become only a residuary. But the lower one, with the children, the father together with a child and child soever, he gets 1/6 only. But in the other words, in the absence of children, above case, the father becomes a residuary. Whereas in the presence of the children, his share is 1/6. అంటే రెసిడ్యూరీ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎక్కువ వస్తుందా లేకుంటే ఖురానిక్ హెయిర్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎక్కువ వస్తుందా?
ఖురానిక్ హెయిర్ అప్పుడు ఎక్కువ వస్తుంది సార్.
ఖురానిక్ హెయిర్ అప్పుడే ఎక్కువ వస్తుంది. రెసిడ్యూరీ ఉన్నప్పుడు మిగిలింది వస్తుంది కదా అక్కడ. After remaining things will become over there, residuaries. After sharing the Quranic hairs, whatever the amount will left over there, he will be getting the residuaries. So now it is very much clear when you read the second point. Okay, now the true grandfather. What is true grandfather అంటే ఏంటిదండి? మదర్ ఫాదరా ఫాదరా? భక్తులారా,
ఫాదర్స్ ఫాదర్ సార్.
the true grandfather is entitled to inherit only in the absence of father. Suppose father ఉన్నారనుకోండి, the grandfather will be disinherited because the father is present. So the property goes to the father. If the father is not present over there, then the property goes to the grandfather. So when the father is alive, automatically grandfather would be excluded.
ఎలిమినేటెడ్.
Excluded. Repeat.
ఎక్స్క్లూడెడ్.
Yes. When father is there, in the presence of the father, then the grandfather would be excluded. That means near one exclude the far away relation. Near one to whom? Near to whom?
Prepositus.
Prepositus. Appreciate. With భక్తులందరూ ఉన్నారు, మేలుతూనే ఉన్నారు. Okay, I appreciate. That is to say, if the prepositor dies leaving behind the both father and the true grandfather, the true grandfather cannot inherit. He will be excluded because father is present who is very near to the prepositus. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
అయితే సార్ గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్కి ఎంత వస్తుంది సార్ అని అడగచ్చు. When father is not there, automatically whatever the father share would be there, it goes to the
Grandfather.
grandfather. If there is no father, the true grandfather inherits like a father. ఇక్కడ చెప్పింది చూడండి, inherits like a father అన్నాడు. That is to say, if there is no father, the true grandfather would become a residuary in the absence of the children. ఇంతకు ముందర చదివినాం చూడండి, in the presence of the children, in the absence of the children would become a residuary in the absence of children, but in the presence of the children a true grandfather gets 1/6. కొంచెం రివర్స్ అయిపోయింది ఇది. Because when the absence of children, no, correct. When the absence of the children, he will become a residuary. In the presence of the children, the grandfather gets 1/6. What about the upper one? What we read it? Yes, the father becomes a residuary where in the presence of the children, in the presence of children, yes, presence of children is there, his amount is 1/6, and in the absence should be there, intend to get another residue without children. Yeah, without the children, correct? No, correct. We are not wrong. So, if the presence of the children, he will true grandfather is the 1/6. In the absence of the children, he will get as a residue. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, mother of whom?
Prepositus.
Prepositus. Yes. The share of the mother is 1/3 in the absence of child. Absence of child unanukondi 1/3. Of child of sons how low soever 1/3. Or two full sister 1/3. D. Two full brother 1/3. అంటే చైల్డ్ ఉన్న 1/3, చైల్డ్స్ ఆఫ్ సన్ ఉన్న 1/3, టూ ఫుల్ సిస్టర్స్ ఉన్న 1/3, టూ ఫుల్ బ్రదర్స్ ఉన్న 1/3. Is it clear? Now, E.
Sir.
One brother plus one sister ఉన్నారనుకోండి, whether full or consanguine or uterine, doesn't matter. When all the conditions are there, A, B, C, D, E, then how much the mother share? In the absence of, I say
1/6.
absence. The following A to E,
1/3.
1/3.
1/3.
In the absence of. అయితే ఇప్పుడు మనం చూద్దాం, in the presence ఉన్నది ఏం చూద్దాం. In the other words, if together with the mother there are none of the above mentioned relation, ఎవరు లేరు అనుకుందాం. In the other words, if together with the mother there are none of the above mentioned relations, in the absence అంటే లేరన్నట్టే కదండి.
Yes, sir.
Absence లేరన్నట్టే కదా.
Yes, sir.
ఎస్, కాబట్టి ఎంత షేర్ వస్తుంది మదర్కి?
1/3, sir.
1/3. 1/3 వస్తుంది. ఓకే, నా సెకండ్ పొజిషన్లో చూద్దాం. ద షేర్ ఆఫ్ ది మదర్ ఈజ్ 1/6. అంటే ఎక్కువైందా తక్కువైందా?
తక్కువైంది, సార్.
తక్కువైంది. ఇన్ ద ప్రెసెన్స్ ఆఫ్, మళ్ళీ అంత సేమే మళ్ళీ. In the presence of child or childs of son, how low soever, or two full sisters, or two full brothers, or one brother plus one sister with full or consanguine or uterine. సార్ ఇక్కడ ఫుల్ అంటే ఎవరు, కన్సంగైన్ అంటే ఎవరు, ఉటరైన్ అంటే ఎవరు చెప్పండి. క్విక్.
Sir, uterine means same mother, different father. Consequent means same father, different mother. Full means same father and mother.
ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక స్టేట్మెంట్ చెప్తాను చూడండి. ఐ వాంట్ టు సీ హౌ మచ్ యూ అండర్స్టూడ్. ద వైఫ్ సేస్ టు ద హస్బెండ్, ఐ రిపీట్, ద వైఫ్ సేస్ టు ద హస్బెండ్, because I used to teach the law of the child in the University of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So I used to give this example to the children, I mean students, to know how much their IQ is there. I repeat, wife says to the husband, of course, they will, how do you address to the husband? You can say, my honey, my oxygen, my darling, my baby, whatever it may be. My baby or my honey, your children and my children are beating our children. Give me the explanation. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now you
sir.
give me the explanation.
Your children means his first marriage children, and my children means her first marriage children, and beating their children means their children. Their
That means your children means consanguine children, my children means uterine children beating our full children.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
అది ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ అడిగింది నేను.
Clear, sir.
Consanguine children and uterine children are beating the full children. That is the idea. So, law of the child, I taught over there. I wrote a book on the law of the child also. If you want to type it, my name, in the Google search engine, that you will find my books. Okay. In other words, if there are any one of the above mentioned relations from A to E, means from child sons, loud loss over two full sisters, B, two full brothers, E, one brother plus one sister with the full or consanguine or uterus. From 1 to E, the share of the mother is reduced to 1/6. If not, 1/3.
One.
Okay, now the third situation. If mother is with the father, proposited, mother unnaru, father unnaru, and there is also a widow or husband, whoever may be there. Propositor is a male, then the widow. Propositor is a female, then the widower. The mother gets 1/3 of the what remains after deducting the share of widow. The mother get 1/3 of what remains after deducting the share of widow. After the deducting the share of widow, 1/3 she will get it. Our husband also get the same thing. Means propositors and widow or husband means either widow or husband means if propositors is a man, then the widow. If the propositor is a woman, then is the widower. In this peculiar combination, the mother without children does not get 1/3 of the whole property, because mother that has case father's share would become half of the mother, which is against the general principle that share of male should be double the share of female. See, generally we already two quantum for whom? Two quantum for whom?
Son.
Son.
Don't say son, say male. And one quantum for
Female.
female, means daughter. So that is the quantum that we have to make it out. Same father, same mother, the children will get in that manner. Two quantum for the male and the one quantum for the female. Okay, now the fourth category is true grandmother. So here, the true grandmother inherits only where she is only excluded with the presence of any of the relations given below. Let us see what the true grandmother will get it. Number one, if not excluded, of course, she is not excluded by the presence of any other relations given below means, suppose mother is there, can the grandmother will get it?
No, sir.
Excluded, because near relation will exclude the far relation. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Number 2, if not excluded. If not excluded, that means the mother died. Are you following me? If not
Yes, sir.
excluded,
Yes, sir.
means the mother died, the share of the true grandmother is 1/6. Whether she is one or more than one. Even grandmother also one or more than one. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
If the 2 means they will get 1/12. If the 1 means they will get 1/6. If they are 3 means they will get 1/18. 2 or more grandmothers gets 1/6 jointly. Suppose 2 are there, means 1/12 and 1/12 they will get it. If the 3 grandmothers are there, then 1/18, 1/18 they will get it. If the 4 grandmothers are there, how much they get it? See, I gave the proposition.
24.
Huh?
24, sir.
1/24, 1/24.
1/24.
You need not be a mathematics teacher for knowing. Just you multiply the number with the denominator, enough. 2 is there, multiply the 2 with the denominator 6, automatically it will become 12. And the 3 is there, you multiply the 3 with the denominator, it becomes 18. If you multiply the 4 with the denominator 6, it will become 1/24, then 1/24. Is it clear? మంచి చిట్కా చెప్పింది సార్ మీరు. చిట్కాని ఏమంటారండి ఇంగ్లీష్లో? సార్ హింట్. No. Actually, mnemonics. Easily to remember it, the mnemonics center. MEMNEMONIC. So now let us see the 3. A maternal grandmother is excluded from the inheritance in the presence of maternal ఉన్నారనుకోండి grandmother. In the presence of mother unte maternal grandfather, maternal grandmother would be excluded. Number 1. Number 2, a nearer maternal or paternal true grandmother near unnarukondi, automatically maternal grandmother will be excluded. Then number 4, a paternal grandmother is excluded from inheritance on the presence of the same thing, mother ikkademo or father, both the way, mother or father. At that instance, the paternal grandmother is excluded inheritance when the mother is there or father is there, or a nearer true grandmother with their maternal or paternal uncle are there. They are very close to the propositors, hence close propositors exclude the faraway propositors. Okay. ఎందుకంటే ఫస్ట్ డిగ్రీలో ఉన్నారా, సెకండ్ డిగ్రీలో ఉన్నారా, థర్డ్ డిగ్రీలో ఉన్నారా చూసుకోవాలి. ఫస్ట్ డిగ్రీలో ఉన్నారనుకోండి, సెకండ్ డిగ్రీ విల్ బి ఎక్స్క్లూడెడ్. Suppose if the first degree is not there, only second degree is there, then third class would be excluded because the second class is there. Means relatives, heirs, second class heirs and third class heirs and first class heirs. In other words, the maternal grandmother get 1/6 share only in the presence of the mother or and near grandmother. Presence unnappudu 1/6 share only in the presence of the mother, in the absence of the mother. Mother లేనప్పుడు. Presence ఉంటే ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందండి? Mother will exclude the grandmother. Is it not? Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Father will exclude the grandfather. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. ఇక్కడ 1/6 share only in the absence of mother and any nearer grandmother. A paternal true grandmother also gets 1/6 share only in the absence of the mother or father or any nearer true grandmother. So that is the relationship. Who are excluded, when they are excluded, when they will become residue, when they become